Hey everyone, Boulevard here. Now, normally I don't make videos on drama, mostly just because it never really feels like it needs one, but the Boksor situation is a little different because I care about competitive Runeterra. Boksor is one of the best players in EMEA. EMEA is a favorite to win Worlds, and so it stands to reason that come World Championship time, Boksor is probably going to get a good amount of airtime, and when that happens, you're going to get a lot of people in Twitch chat calling him a cheater, and the on-camera talent is not going to be allowed to engage with that discourse and explain to you what happened, so that's kind of what the purpose of this video is, get ahead of it, because trying to figure out why he's a cheater from Twitch chat is going to be a nightmare, and I know that there's still going to be sort of a end of day one Reddit post like, hey, new player here, everyone called Boksor as a cheater, why is he allowed to play in Worlds? So I'm here to try and set things as straight as I can. Now, I haven't verified this with Riot or Boksor, because Boksor is impossible to get a hold of, no one's ever spoken to him, and have a sort of quick explanation video on hand is all I really wanted to do, so I feel confident enough in the information I have to at least make this video. So, as many of you know, earlier this year we switched from seasonals to Runeterra Opens, which means that things were less exclusive. You didn't have a qualification system to get into the seasonals. You were allowed to just enter the Runeterra Opens. And so on the first Runeterra Open, EMEA player Karashi played the event on his main account and failed to qualify, and then went and played on his Smurf account and made it to the top 64, then went on to win the event. When Riot found out about this, he was DQ'd without prize, no money, no points, and as far as I have heard, was also barred from playing in the next Worlds qualifier. At that Worlds qualifier, Boksor played on his main account and qualified for the top 64, then swapped over to his Smurf account and qualified yet again. And so in the archives, I actually have two Boksors at that event because he actually checked in on both accounts. When Riot found out about this, he was DQ'd without prize, losing his Worlds points, losing his prize money. Unsure if he was allowed to play in the next Worlds qualifier. Just know he does not appear in the top cut of the next Worlds qualifier, but might have been allowed to play and just didn't make it. So, fast forward to recently at the Fate's Voyage Runeterra Open. Boksor once again qualifies on the main account before swapping over to his Smurf, where he actually fails to qualify, then goes on to win the Runeterra Open, and again, Boksor double Q'd. That's a no-no, DQ'd without prize, no prize money, no Worlds points. Only hope for Boksor to get to Worlds is to win the next Worlds qualifier, which he does. And at that Worlds qualifier, Boksor didn't double Q. It was a clean win. The sort of debate is whether or not he should have been allowed to enter it in the first place. But he was allowed, and he did, and he won, and now Boksor is going to Worlds. So that's sort of what he did. That's why people label Boksor a cheater. That's what he did wrong. He double queued in a couple of events and was punished for each of them. Now, personally, I don't see that as cheating. Breaking terms of service, 100%, no doubt. But not all breaking of terms of service is cheating. A prime example that I love to use in this is unsportsmanlike conduct. If you DM your opponent mid-match and call them a punk, bitch, luck-sacking piece of shit who couldn't duel their way out of a paper bag, that's breaking terms of service and liable to similar punishments that Boksor received. But it'd be wild to call you a cheater for that. Now, as far as I can tell, no competitive advantage was ever gained by Boksor's actions because he always qualified on the first go-around and then decided to double queue. And while it's not great to get knocked out of a tournament by someone who has no intention of playing day 2, I'm allowed to do that. Casters and producers are allowed to play day 1, even though we know we're not going to play day 2, so it's not a situation I super sympathize with. Now, as far as what actually constitutes cheating in a digital card game, the things that I could come up with off the top of my head are like stream sniping, accessing your opponent's deck list in a closed deck list environment, DDoSing your opponent, or bug abuse, and Boksor just doesn't fall into the same category as people like that. But I encourage you to form your own opinion now that you have more context, as that was sort of the purpose of this video, to provide that for you. So thanks for watching, and I hope that clears things up if you were a little confused.